Hi y'all, it's Dana, aka Trihrdrgrl. Welcome to the channel if you've never been here before. I'm happy you're here. You're meant to be here. If you don't know, I am a triathlete, a cancer survivor, a pulmonary embolism survivor, and most importantly, just a woman on a mission to motivate you and remind you that you can, inspire you to know that no matter what your story is, that you're out there inspiring others too. So that's what I'm here to do. A little bit of inspiration every day. I vlog Monday through Friday, and I weekend vlog a little bit on the weekend. This past weekend, we didn't do as much daily vlogging as we normally do. But that's because we had a lot of family oh, I'm crooked. It's okay. It's okay. There we go. We had a lot of family time. Also, I can probably move you back. My hubby did his very first triathlon this weekend. I'm super stoked to share a little bit more about that with you. I also did like a little mini interview with him, and I hope to do more interviews in the future because that is so much fun for me. Like, I love asking people questions and picking their brain. With my hubby, I know him pretty well, but still I got to hear some things that I haven't heard before from him, so it was kind of cool. So I will be posting that interview a little bit later outside of my weekend vlog. Let's talk a little bit first. I'm gonna do a recap of his race via the support perspective. So that's gonna be kind of cool because I haven't, other than a little bit of volunteering, and I've gone and cheered on friends before, but I haven't been that support side before. I've always been the athlete side, so it was kind of cool to do that. I'm gonna do that in this video, and I will also go over my rest week last week. So let's do that first. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, my coach said, hey, we need a full-on rest week where you don't do too much triathlon stuff. You need to soak up the training that you have been doing and get ready for the training that is coming up. I was a little apprehensive because I was like, what do you mean I'm not going to train? I mean, I train, 10 to 15 hours a week. I need to train. So, but I pay my coach for a reason, to tell me what to do and what would be best for me in the situation coming up. And so I told her that my hubby was doing his first triathlon this weekend, and this leading up week would be a good one because then I can just support him throughout, which I did. I went swimming with him last week and just kind of hung out there. I've biked a couple times this week with him, just easy rides for me, but just being next to him, so it was kind of cool. But I really struggle with no training because training is a part of my schedule every day, and I like a schedule and I like knowing what I'm going to do. And I was like, I'm gonna get a whole bunch done, I'm gonna do a whole lot of content and plan things, and that didn't happen. I just straight up rested. I did a lot of stretching, so I'm super proud of that. I did get some content in, but mostly just rest. Ended up only getting one swim in and a bike, and then I biked yesterday too because my hubby had a kind of a shakeout ride after his race, so I went and just twirled my legs even though I wasn't supposed to. So now we'll see. And I kind of like the idea, this idea of, being 15 weeks out from race day, of having a rest week, in the sense of it kind of emulates taper a little bit. I'll probably work out a little more through taper than I did this rest week, but then it emulates then getting into the race after doing a little bit less. So taper is at the end of your training right before whatever big race you have. So for me, it will be Ironman California in October. It will probably be somewhere between 7 and 12 days long, where I'm not doing a high volume of training because I'm about to do a high volume race that I want to do very well at. So without that training, this last week, we'll see how training goes coming up this week to see if the rest really did do me well. One thing I did note, my sleep was really good last week, so I was able to really rest, because I had throughout the day where I wasn't working out and I was just doing things around the house and stuff, but then sleep, I got a little badge on Garmin. They give you like when you do good things on there. So Garmin gave me the 7 days a row of 75 score or better on sleep. So I haven't had that in a long time, which that was nice. So I got like true rest. I'm gonna keep working on sleep, and nutrition is up next. I'd like to cut a couple pounds. I don't talk a lot about losing weight or anything on my channel because that is not, it's in my wheelhouse, but not expertise of mine. And also, I don't believe that you have to lose weight where you are right now to do what you want to do. So I don't try to talk about it too much because I want to make sure you know that you don't have to. You don't have to lose weight. For me, I want to be just a little bit lighter for running. That's it. I like me. I like how strong I am. My body is almost 40 years old. I take thyroid medicine every day for the thyroid cancer that I had, and it was taken out. So my hormones are all over the place sometimes. So I don't try to be too harsh on my body and the way it maintains weight or loses weight, because I'm still doing what I need to do. The most important part to me is that I feel good enough to do what I'm doing, so that I have the energy, and that has been mostly been coming from what I put into my body, so what nutrition I'm doing. And I'm trying to get so much better with that because I was from the Midwest, and I'm just a meat and potatoes girl growing up. And then when my dad passed away, I got a lot into reading about cancers and all of that, and I went vegetarian and vegan for a while, and now I am back to eating meat and everything again, and I want to not be such a meat and potatoes type person or a meat and a carb. I want to make sure I'm putting those vegetables in me and getting those vitamins in me, especially with my body getting older and the hormones that are just gonna go wild. I say in my brain, but yeah, a little bit of my brain, but mostly in my body too. So that is the goal. Nutrition is going to be on the list for the next 3 months. Make sure I'm not having any stomach issues, make sure that I have the energy and the brain power, because that's a big part of nutrition, is your brain working for you to get the race done. Because I can train my body to get stronger and stronger, but if I'm not putting the good things into it, it's not going to get me through the race. So that's what we'll be working on. This week, I have a good amount of training, and I'm super stoked. We're also planning on doing a sprint triathlon on Saturday. So I haven't done a sprint triathlon, like that distance one, since 2014-ish, 2013-ish, when I got sick. So yeah, I've done a couple. I've done a couple double sprints, but it feels crazy to me to think about doing that short distance when I have such a long distance come up. So coach just kind of put it in as like a training day. So it's like a sprint training day. The distance, I think, I want to say 800-ish yard swim, half mile, so 800 meters, whatever that is in yards, 870 or something. And then a 14 something bike and a 5K run. So that I should be able to get done in that hour and a half area range. I hope even quicker. The swim should take me about 15-16 minutes. The bike should take me 45 minutes. And then I'm hoping that run takes me 30 minutes or less. So let's see how we can sprint it out. But my coach has some big days of training planned for me. We still have the heat wave coming in, so I'm going to try to get my runs done super early in the morning, and try to avoid that heat, because if not, then it's waiting till late at night. And nope, tomorrow I have a run. The goal is to get out the door at 7 o'clock, because I'm not dealing with this heat. It is a lot. So that's a little last week all together kind of recap. Let's talk about my hubby's race day. I am so super proud of him. It is his first triathlon ever. He's always kind of wanted to do one even before he even met me, but then he met me and I've done a bunch, and then he motivated me to get back into wanting to do my full Ironman, and I did my full Ironman, and then from there it's like he definitely wanted to get into it. So last year he bought a used bike on Facebook Marketplace, a tri bike, and we've been training. He got a coach. He signed up for the 70.3 in Washington through Ironman brand. And for a while he was thinking that might be his first triathlon, but with both my opinion, his coach's opinion, and a little bit on his mind of how he is wary about swimming, he was like, I need to sign up for another one. So we got him signed up for this semi-local one, about 3.5 hours away from our home. We live in the Reno, Nevada area, and this was in the Sacramento area. Hubby started swimming like just February of last year, so he's only been swimming for like 1.5 years. He always knew like how to not drown. He was a fisher. He would go to lakes and stuff, but it was more just splashing around and making sure, but he never knew how to do an athletic swim. So he went from, 3-minute 100s, and now he's down to 2:15 to 2:30. I'm so super proud of him for that. And so that was his biggest worry for this race. Let's talk a little bit more about the race, and then I'll talk about hubby. The race series is known as Trihrdrgrl. It's a company called Total Body Fitness out of the greater Sacramento area. You can look them up. It's TBF races. They're on Instagram and a couple other places, and they're a lot of fun. It's one of those like local, that they're like a family type environment, because a bunch of people that do the races do every single one of the races every year. They know each other, the same people, so it's kind of cool. But there was also a lot of newbies there. For the drive there, we decided to go the long route. And so when you come from Reno to go to California, you have to go over the mountain no matter what, but you can go through the city, or you can kind of go these back roads, and we went these back roads. If you ever get the opportunity to take that drive from Reno to like the Sacramento area, southern Sacramento area, and you get to take this route, it's 88. It's just, it reminded all of us of the mountains of North Carolina. It also had like, we saw like a abandoned castle / amusement park that we looked up the story on. Lots of cool views. One of my favorite parts was we stopped to go to the bathroom a little over halfway there, and it happened to be one of the main stopping points for the PCT trail. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. But if you've ever seen the movie Wild, she hiked on the PCT, and so you can technically hike from Mexico all the way to Canada on this same trail, and it goes through the mountains that are right around the corner from me here in both California and Nevada. And this was like one of the main hubs, and there was a lot of people there that were through hiking, and I got to take pictures of the PCT little plaque and everything. So that was really cool. One day that's on our list, to hike parts of it, if not all of it. That would be cool. But for now, I got to get to motivating more of you through what I'm doing and inspiring, and then we can move on to those great things. So that drive was really, really cool. I would definitely do it again. On the way home, we ended up just taking the quick route on 80, which is the main highway that goes from Sacramento to Reno area. It's an easy drive once you get out of Sacramento, because there's always traffic there. But for the race through TBF, this was an Olympic on this day. They also had a super sprint on this day, a kids run on this day, and then the next day they were doing a sprint and another kids race. So they had a lot of races going on over the weekend, but hubby did the Olympic. The super sprint was a 250-yard swim, I think he said, or 200 meters, and a 5-mile bike and a 1-mile run. Like, that would be go, go, go. That's crazy to me. But I'm not much of the sprinter. I like the long haul endurance level. So this weekend will be fun, just because I get to do a triathlon with my hubby, and I get to do a shorter distance one. I don't think I'll be doing any other triathlons before the big race in October, just because I'll just be doing a lot of training, and races are expensive to get into. Don't have the budget for it right now. So hubby did the Olympic. They closed off the roads, so we tried to get there early. We stayed at a hotel. Oh, so the venue, so we stayed at a hotel about 10 minutes away in a city called Galt, California, and then the venue was in Harold, California, and the venue is at a park that's has a lake on it. It's pretty small. The lake is not big. I'll put up a picture of the lake here. But the venue was located at what used to be an old nuclear power plant. So like this is their like little logo, and it has, so you pull up and it's the old nuclear power plant towers are right there. It's kind of cool. And then now they have a bunch of solar fields there. So I thought that was kind of funny, the juxtaposing of those two different things right on top of each other. We pulled up the day before to kind of just, he wanted to see the lay of the land at the venue, and the woman at the gate was telling us the water had yuck in it. So there's a company or an environmental group that goes in California and they test the waters, and so it was at yellow level. They said swim with caution, don't drink water type of thing. So that made it a little worrisome, but we weren't too worried because there were still people there and they were still swimming in the water. So especially because they were locals, we were like, we feel a little more comfortable. Morning of race, we got out the hotel pretty early, get there because they were closing the road down for the kids race, so we got there about an hour and a half early. Check-in was super simple. Kind of spoiled my hubby a little bit with him having my Ironman experience with me, where they give you an abundance of information. If you ever do an Ironman race, know that there shouldn't be a question that isn't answered, because they give you a whole 50-page book about your race and the rules and what you should be doing, and then they have the web page up with everything. This little local race, exact opposite. You walk up, they hand you your bib and your thing, and you're like, what do I do? Hubby was new. He was like, what do I do? I don't know, because I don't know the race either. So, but there was really cool volunteers there. Everyone was super helpful for asking questions, and it was super simple. I think only a total of 95 people did the Olympic distance race, so small, not big at all. And so that was kind of cool. I had my camera with me, and I just got to take so many photos of, like, I'm trying to test out, especially for his big race, figuring out how the best way to take pictures athletics wise with my phone, or with not my phone, with this camera, the night. So it had rained a little bit the night before, and there was overcast in the morning, which was perfect, but it was still like 78 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it was, and the sun was peeking out a little bit. It wasn't the best race, best weather for a race like this, but we like to do hard things, and it tells a better story. So water temperature probably also, like, because it had been so hot the last couple, like 75 so degrees, and that's probably why they were finding stuff in the water, because the water was so hot. And so it was on the border of whether or not to use a wetsuit or not, but hubby has never done a lake swim with this much distance, so he of course wore it. And most people did. A lot of people had sleeveless ones. We bought sleeve ones, so that's what we have right now. In the future we might get sleeveless ones. So lake swim. He gets up there, gets ready to go. He seems super pumped and super confident and super excited about it. So I was really happy with that. He had some stomach issues the night before, so that was kind of cruddy, but nothing the morning of, so still feeling good there. Gets into the water. We had a goal that he would probably be back in about the 40 to 45 minute range, seeing as how it was a 1,800 yard swim, and it takes him about 2.5 minutes per 100 yards on average. But he started out way wide. And there was a little bit of wind, so the current was kind of drifting him even wider. And I even have a video that I'm like, hubby, just move in. And he didn't move in. So it was almost probably about 450 yards, 500 yards to the first buoy, and he was just so wide. And then come to find out afterwards, he had trouble with his goggles. They were fogging up a little bunch, so he couldn't see. So we ended up seeing someone grab onto a kayak, and my stepdaughter and I were certain that it was my husband. And he held on for quite a bit, and he later told us it was because he couldn't see, but the person on the kayak was awesome. They reassured him, made sure he didn't need help to go back to shore, helped him find another vantage point and finding the buoy. So they were like, well, if you can peek the buoy for a second but can't see it when you're in the water, find something bigger beyond it and go toward it. So in this case, it was a set of trees, and he went toward it. So that was pretty awesome. Overall, he got his swim done in 50 minutes, which was super awesome for going that wide. Later on his Garmin, we found out that he ended up swimming like 20,060 yards or something like that. So 250 yards or 200 yards more than he needed to swim anyways. So he did really good for his first open water swim. He was really ticked off at his goggles. We'll figure that situation out. The water was warm, the air was warm, so it was just fogging him up big time. Also, he usually swims in his goggles in the pool, so that could have caused chlorine to the fresh water, could have caused some issues with the goggles too. So we'll keep on working that and figuring that out. The bike course was a simple out and back. So the get out of the park area was about 2 miles. So then they went out about 10 and came back in 10 on just a long country road, like not much. It wasn't closed off to traffic, so that was the only downfall of this one, but it's such a small race, so that's understandable. What was cool is that you had the feature of those 2 towers behind you or in front of you the entire time, so you knew where you were and how far you were away from them. Although a nuclear tower, plant tower, it looks like it's right in front of you when it's like 15 miles away. It's huge, and then when it is right in front of you, you're like, holy cow. Anyways, simple out and back. Hubby killed his bike ride. I think his goal was right around 115 or so, and he ended up 125, somewhere in that area. Here, there, it's his first triathlon. We were only having the goals of finishing this, but he also has, that competitive mindset is mine, that he, doesn't want to lose, doesn't want to be last, that type of thing. So he killed that bike ride, was feeling so good, looking so good, came out, did the run. The run was around the park of this ranch. It was called Rancho Seco Park. I don't know if I ever said that. And they did like kind of a loop through a field. That was the only downfall, is about halfway into the run, about a half hour and change into the run, it ended up being sunny again. So that heat came out, 90 plus degrees, a little bit of humidity in California compared to here. So it made it a little rough to finish that run for sure, but he did. He finished his first triathlon, and I'm so super stoked for him. And now he has a little more confidence going into the 70.3 in September, that we don't have to worry as much about him being in the water, because I was definitely worried while he was in the water. The one in Washington has a downriver swim, so he'll get it done a little bit quicker, and it's a point to point, so it's not a big circle, so that's a little bit better too. As for this TBF Try for Real, Try for Fun races they have, I would highly recommend them to a newbie triathlete. I met so many new triathletes. I was so excited to cheer everybody on throughout the day, and everyone was super positive. The race was easy to get to, a cool location, kind of on the lower end of the budget. I think it was like $135. If you sign up sooner than later for some of these races, they end up being under $100 to do the Olympic distance. That's for the Olympic distance for sure. They have the sprint and stuff, and those are a little bit cheaper races. But I would highly recommend this race. It was cool being a spectator and feeling that feeling of excitement and worry and so that's a little bit about my rest week, and my hubby doing his first his first triathlon. He'll be doing an Ironman 70.3 coming up here before I do my full. If you've watched this whole video, or maybe fast forward and are watching this part now, can you press that subscribe button, like, and comment? Tell me what your big plans are for this week, and comment what the temperature's been like in your area below. It just helps in this world of YouTube and social media when you interact with a video. I love just being here and, like I said, inspiring you guys. But YouTube also helps us a little bit doing that if you press those buttons, all of the buttons. I love you guys. Don't let your I want to's turn into I can'ts. And we got some vlogging coming up this week because it's not a super boring rest week. We'll be training, we'll be shaping our diet up, we're doing some other things, so can't wait to check in with you guys. I love you. I'll check in with you tomorrow.